All right, second graders. So something that we've already talked about when we're trying to read long words is we know that when we see an ending that we recognize, we can break that off and that'll make the word easier to read. And we've already talked about some of the endings that we know. We know ER, ED, ES, LY. So if we were to see this word here, that looks like a long word to me. But I recognize that ing at the end. I see that ending. I know ing says ing. So if I were to break this word up to try to read it, I would probably break it up like this. Pub-lish-ing. Publishing. Publishing. Oh, I know that. Publishing books. Publishing our writing. So we already know that when we see endings, we know we can break those off, and that makes the word easier to read. Today I want to teach you about another part that you might see at the end of a word a lot, and that is LE at the end of a word. And what I want to teach you today is that when you see LE at the end of a word, you can break that word up right before the consonant to help you read the word more easily. So let's take a look at what I mean by that. I have some words here that I've already separated, and I want us to try to read them by pushing the parts together. You'll notice all of these words end with LE, and what I did was I broke them up right before the consonant that comes before that LE. So I have my LE ending in all of them, but I broke them before that consonant that comes right before them. So let's read these words. Candle, push it together, candle. Battle, battle. Dribble, dribble. Title, title. Cradle, cradle. Staple, staple. Now I'm noticing that LE at the end, it sounds like ol. It's not spelled ol. We don't spell it UL. It's spelled LE, but it sounds like ol. So if we break the word up before the consonant and then have that LE, that can help us read some tricky words. Let's see if we do that with a new word. Let's look at this word. I see this ending LE. So if I wanted to break this word up to read it more easily, I'm going to break it up right before the consonant and then the LE. So now I can read this in two parts. Scramble, scramble. Oh, like I like to scramble my eggs for breakfast. Scramble, scramble. So I noticed that the LE says ol, but I also noticed something. I noticed that these three words, the first part ends in a consonant. An N, a T, a B. Candle, battle, dribble. I noticed that the vowel in these words makes a short vowel sound. We have a short A, and a short I. And these parts end in a consonant. I notice that these three words, the first part ends in a vowel, I, A. Title, cradle, staple. And I notice that these vowels make a long vowel sound. So if I break my word up before the consonant LE, I notice that if the first part of the word ends in a consonant, I hear a short vowel sound. Battle, dribble. If that first part ends in a vowel, I hear a long vowel sound. Title, cradle, staple. So that's a pattern that can help us when we're trying to read some tricky words. If we notice this LE at the end of a word, it sounds like ol, but it's spelled LE. We can break that word up before the consonant. Now we have two parts that are easy to read. If that first part ends with a consonant, we hear a short vowel sound. If that first part ends with a vowel, we hear a long vowel sound. So I'm going to add this strategy to our chart as well. We know to break before consonant LE and listen for what sound the vowel makes, whether it's going to be a short sound or a long sound. And if it doesn't sound right, we can always try it the other way until we figure out the word. So keep this in mind as you do the next activity that I'm posting on the next slide.